All right, guys, so the Pac-12 again, now in 10th place in the NFC at 4-6-1. Green Bay's final 5 games are against the Cards, Falcons, Bears, Jets, and Lions. Damien Woody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah.
Stephen A., Packers done?
Yes, Packers are done. That bad man that is Aaron Rodgers is done. The Green Bay Packers are not going to the playoffs, and actually I'm happy about it because it'll be wholesale changes. Let me be first to say that I think that Aaron Rodgers is the greatest quarterback that I've ever seen from a talent perspective. That's just how I feel about it. I've never seen anybody that could throw the football on the run, standing in the pocket with the level of accuracy that he delivers. Aaron Rodgers has been anything but that bad man that I know him to be. He certainly was not that last night. 198 yards passing, a QBR 23, missing. I think it was Devontae Adams in the end zone on that touchdown, that potential touchdown grab right there. That was Aaron Rodgers, just as much as it was the wide receiver. And that's not the first time this has happened. Obviously, he wasn't 100%. We get all of that. But at the end of the day, him being as great as I know him to be, I'd be remiss in neglecting to point out that he has been anything but that over the last few weeks or so. Now, the ball has been taken out of his hands, and I pointed out that 3 separate occasions, whether it's Ty Montgomery one game with not taking the knee in the end zone, whether it's Mike McCarthy electing to rely on his defense instead of putting the ball in his hands. I get all of that. But in the end, the Green Bay Packers are just not a very, very good team. I'm looking at President and CEO Mark Murphy. I'm looking at Coach Mike McCarthy. I'm looking at the personnel that they surround Aaron Rodgers with. He does not have enough to work with. And not only that, Mike McCarthy has not been innovative enough offensively. As far as I'm concerned, when I look at their plays, I see the same stuff being called. And I'm no football aficionado. I'll leave that to you and others who played the game. But from my mind's eye, from my eyes, for what I see, the same kind of plays that was being ran in over the last 2-3 years is exactly what I'm seeing from Mike McCarthy now. I think it's going to cost him his job. I think it should. I'm not trying to imply the man can't coach. I'm not trying to say he shouldn't be a head coach in the NFL. What I am saying is when you have one of the greatest, if not the greatest quarterback of this generation, and you come up that short, the last Super Bowl appearance for Aaron Rodgers was 2010. That is unacceptable. And then when you look at Murphy, you had wholesale changes. Gutekunst is the GM now instead of Ted Thompson, who was reassigned and moved over to a special advisor or what have you. But in the end, the buck stops with him. And when you look at their personnel, it ain't there. It ain't there.
No, the Packers aren't done. It is unlikely that they get it done because they need help. They got to win out, and they need help. Is that likely to happen? No, but you can't count Aaron Rodgers out, especially not when he starts going team by team. And he's telling you with a bullseye on each one, this is what we're going to do. 2 years ago, and he even referenced 16. 2 years ago, they needed to win 8 straight, and they looked terrible, and he looked not the same guy early in the season. And he guaranteed, he said, we're going to win out. And he did. When you see someone do that, you got to respect their gangster, Stephen A.
I respect the gangster.
Dude,
that don't mean it's going to be relevant now.
Hold up. Now, right now we're feeling a certain kind of way about it, right? Who do they have coming up?
Arizona.
Arizona.
And then Atlanta.
And Atlanta.
Yeah.
Are those winnable games?
Home games.
Yeah.
Right.
Who do the Vikings have coming up? The Vikings have the Patriots on the road, and then the Seahawks on the road. Now, I understand it's unlikely. A lot of things have to go the Packers' way, but that's not an unthinkable scenario that we could be having the same conversation in 2 weeks saying they're tied for second in the division.
No, the Vikings schedule is much more difficult, you're right.
Now, then comes the big test, the Chicago Bears on the road. But I'll tell you what, if I'm a kid growing up in Chicago right now, I'm a Bears fan, we're going to do it, and I see a desperate Aaron Rodgers come to town, I am nervous. It's not like he can't win at Chicago. Now, coaching is a separate scenario. McCarthy shouldn't be a head coach in the NFL right now. I'm not saying he should be. I'm saying guys like that, Shermer for the Giants, the kind of tried and true guys people trust, the teams that are having success that don't have Belichick or Andy Reid, who are truly great coaches and have adapted to the modern game, hire dynamic offensive coordinators. Right. If you have a Nagy or if you have a Reich or if you have a McVay, you can play. And if you don't, you really can't. And that's a separate issue. But can Aaron Rodgers do it with a little help right now? Yup, you can't count him out.
You done? You done?
For now.
Green Bay's not making the playoffs, okay? Green Bay right now, they're 0-6 on the road. 0-6 on the road.
0-8. 0 for their last 8 on the road.
A team that's going to make the playoffs one of the biggest things you have to do, you have to be able to win on the road.
They're due.
They can't win on
They're due.
They can't win on the road,
They're
Max,
due for a
okay?
road win.
Listen, a lot of people can talk about defense and all those type of things, but let's just be honest. This Green Bay Packers team, it's all on Aaron Rodgers, okay? The defense is middle of the road, but if Aaron Rodgers is not on his A game, and he's not on his A game this year, people will point to the stat. Wait a minute, hold on. People, I've seen other quarterbacks deal with lesser weapons, okay? So I'm not.
The teams he'd have to compete with. Look at the weapons that some of these other teams have to really make a run. He can't compete with the guys.
We are talking about arguably the greatest quarterback of this generation in Aaron Rodgers. Don't sit here and try to tell me, he doesn't have weapons. Okay? I've seen
Jimmy
Tom
Graham
Brady.
ain't Jimmy Graham
Wait a minute, hold on. I've seen Tom Brady work with all types of guys.
Tom Brady has the lowest accuracy percentage of all starters.
I'm talking about throughout his career. Okay? How many guys? How many
You're
just
making the
elite
coaching
guys?
point.
No,
You are making the coaching point.
no, Max. If we're going to hold Aaron Rodgers to this elite status, okay, you can't go 0-6 on the road and 4. Listen, how many times on this show have I not pointed a finger at Mike McCarthy? Okay, Mike McCarthy after the season will be gone.
Point that big finger that way now.
He'll be gone. But you can't sit here and not put a lot of this blame on Aaron Rodgers, because if he's the big bad man, you can't go 0-6 on the road, and you can't have the Green Bay Packers can't be 4-6-1 as a franchise. I'm sorry, you just can't. That can't happen.